and welcome to another episode of the Doomsayers. I am Chris, and I will be your humble MC for these proceedings. But before I get to all my spiel and everything, let us get to know all these lovely individuals. First and foremost, Kai, please introduce yourself and who you're going to be playing.
Hi everybody, I'm Kai, I use he, they, and she pronouns, and I am Black playing Merrick, the once beloved of Achilles, Patroclus, who's fine and normal and uses he, him pronouns.
Lovely, lovely. Next up is going to be Calamity. Calamity, introduce yourself and who you're playing.
Hello, I'm Ave, also known as Calamity on the internet. My pronouns are she, they, and today I'll be playing Mallory, whose pronouns are she, her, and she needs a babysitter.
Oh, we all need one. We all need one. With that in mind, last but not least, Hector.
Now you should all be able to hear me. I realized there was nothing moving earlier. Hi everyone, I'm Valiant Dorian. I use him, his pronouns. You can find me around the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Otso Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. Tonight I have the distinct pleasure of playing your Honorable Prince of Troy, Hector, who uses he, him pronouns. I'm going to pass it over to our MC over here.
Thank you. And I am the MC, the benevolent kind of never done anything wrong MC for these preceding evenings. With that in mind, two things to keep in check here. If you're just joining us here, missed the content warnings, you can check them out for yourself here if you type in !DoomCW. If you missed it, just in case, the content warnings for this series in general follows as such. Fantasy and gun violence, apocalypse, romance and references to sexual entanglements, monsters and monstrosities, severe weather, blood, real-world religions, familiar struggles, trauma, McCarthyism, mind and memory manipulation, depictions of kidnapping, crime, supernatural and mythological elements, and murder, and also suicidal idealization. If any of these do not float your boat, there is a plethora of wonderful content out there for you to enjoy. And if you want to follow any of these lovely people, and while they're not joining us today, we do have a lovely tech producer, you can type in !Doomcast to find the socials to everyone and follow them there. With that in mind, I think we're ready to start. So please, let's get underway and let's get to that intro to see what happened last time on the Doomsayers. with that, we open up on the morning after New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. The city itself is beautiful. Again, it has just recently snowed, so it has that sort of ice blanket that isn't too dangerous yet. But it's particularly beautiful to all the individuals here, due to the fact that they are in one of the highest buildings within the city and can oversee everything. But with that, Mallory, you're on the phone, currently ringing. And as you are waiting for a call, you begin to hear it pick up. At this point, Ricky on the other line speaks up, goes, "Hey, hello?"
Ricky. Hey.
Oh my God, Mallory. What happened last? Are you okay? I know I didn't really, I should have gone out and see if you were okay, but are you all right?
I'm fine.
I'm taking care of the kid if you're worried about that. I mean, I know you didn't come back home either, so I was gonna go out and see if, if everything was all right, or because usually you're home, but you weren't. And the babysitter, it's morning, so I paid the babysitter, so you don't have to worry about that. Are you all right?
And I think as Ricky's kind of going, Mallory keeps like finding the words to say. Like, she almost says, "I'm sorry." She almost says, like, "Is everything okay? How is Enid?" She almost says a lot of things, but none of them quite come out until he says, "Are you okay?" And she's, yes, I'm fine. Thanks for stepping in and helping out with Enid. There's a lot going on, and I don't know if this is the best time to talk about it, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm okay. And I'll send you something if you need to grab the babysitter. I will, just
where
keep
are
you posted
you?
as best as I can. What's the building called again?
This is known as the Sears Hall. This is kind of like the tribunal's head office.
Sears Hall?
All right, it's New Year's Day, not April Fool's. Seriously, where are you?
Sears Hall.
What the hell are you doing up there?
Some work to make sure that I don't get thrown in jail for a crime I didn't commit. Listen, I said there's a lot to catch up on, and I only got a bit here. I gotta get or whatever they said.
Are you working for him? Are you?
Sure.
Did you get a job there, or are you a typist or something? You're clerical, right? Yeah, you gotta keep it secret because you're doing the paperwork and all that. Yeah.
They called me as a Doomsayer.
I'm sorry. Say again.
They called me in as a Doomsayer.
What is that? Is that like you deliver mail? What is that?
Ricky, like I said, this is huge. There's so much to tell you.
All right. If anything, yeah, I'll take the day off. I will have to go out at night, but take the day off.
Again.
I'll watch the kid.
Call the
I'll
neighbor.
babysitter and everything. Yeah.
Numbers on the fridge. I'm real sorry.
No, don't say sorry. I mean, it's you gotta work. It's just I'm here if you need me, and you see your kid's kind of crying in the background. Look, I'll take care of the kid. Yeah, it's all right. He wants you, but I'll take care of him. Do what you gotta do, but be careful. The tribunal isn't exactly nice guys.
Trust me, I know. Give him an extra kiss for me.
Yeah, you see him kind of go, "Your mom gives you a kiss," as he kind of screams over the phone.
I don't think. Okay.
He'll understand. He's a smart kid. He's a smart cookie.
Yes.
He put the
Yeah.
square block in the square block and the circle block in the circle block. He's a freaking genius. He gets it from his father.
I'll talk to you later, Ricky. I'll call you.
All right. Talk to you later. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too.
Phone hangs up. How's Mallory feeling in this instance? As you hang up the phone and are left with that mid-silence.
I think the same thing she's been feeling since she was kind of told that she has to do this. She's backed into a wall. There's nothing else she can really do except kind of go forward with this. And now she just talked to the whole reason, why she has to go through with this. So I think she's feeling heavy, very kind of, heavy, I think is just a good way to describe how she's feeling. There's just a lot, and she's trying her best to stay even, and trying her best to kind of take things as they go. But I think in this moment of silence, kind of away from everyone and from the tribunal, she's just feeling the weight of everything that has happened in the last 24 hours.
And it's hard, especially that you're with family now. I'm technically family, it's weird, but as you get your composure together, you begin to walk out the room and into sort of the main lobby area in which our two other newly formed members of the Doomsayers lie, Hector and Merrick. I'm very curious. What does it look like? Are you guys glaring at each other? Are you side to side? What is the tension that we see here as Mallory kind of enters back into this sort of waiting room?
I feel like Hector has oscillated between not looking at Merrick to when their eyes do meet, it's like spears and daggers. There's just this heavy, unspoken tension. I'm pretty sure as soon as Mallory sits down, it is so thick and palpable in the air. Hector's probably leaning against a wall or a pillar, has his arms crossed over his chest, and every now and then just like taps his fingers against the giant gaping hole in his chest, to make sure that all the weird pieces are there in terms of the tattoo, before crossing his hands again, waiting for Mallory to come out, begging for time to move.
There's a completely full ashtray sitting next to Merrick. Lord knows how many cigarettes he has smoked just sitting here. And probably much to Hector's dismay, every time he looks at Merrick, he's looking at Hector. He hasn't looked away from Hector basically since they got in this room. But there isn't that feral intensity like at the party. There's this calculation going on. Know your enemy. Study your enemy. And wait.
Tension is in the air. It's palpable, and as Mallory comes in, it cuts for a bit, leaving you three in the lobby for a hot second as you see that the phone calling out of what was Zeus's office in this place. Each of the members of the tribunal have their own little area, and primarily within Zeus's, especially since they advocated for you. They went to go take a quick bathroom break, but they should be back soon. Leaving with a little bit of awkwardness between you three.
Mallory will kind of sit and feeling the tension, but just kind of is in her own thoughts. So she just kind of sits and stares at the floor.
Hector breaks the silence, because finally there's a third person here who isn't about to stare daggers at him for for another 20 minutes, it feels like. And as he like pivots, making a heel turn to face you, he looks at you with this a softer gaze that I think you're used to from this man you barely know. Is all well then? With the whole family.
Oh, yeah, just checking in on the kid.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
all is well.
A kid.
Yeah.
And those are the first words that Merrick has spoken basically since we left the tribunal.
How old? If you don't mind me asking.
3.
3. Such a darling age.
That is one way to describe it, yeah.
I'm sure you have your hands full.
I do.
Sleep is
Just
as
grateful of that help.
sleep is as
Oh, what is that?
elusive.
Merrick finally looks away from Hector.
You've got kids, or?
I do. A son.
Got a son too. So yeah, 3 is they say the terrible 2s, but it just keeps going.
Children are the most precious. But I agree with you, those sleepless nights, I'm sure there are a handful to you and your partner as well. I'm sure.
Yeah. His father, not really but yeah,
Ah,
um,
I see. And Hector has realized the additional quagmire that he's jumped in on, being a man from the era of Troy. And as he nods, realizing that, he says, "But your son? Well, we're cared for. I'm not sure when we will return. Are all arrangements made?"
yeah. I've got his father's here now, and when he works later, I've got a babysitter up the hall that's real good at coming in and helping out. She's a seamstress, so she just kind of brings him over and
That's good.
likes it there. So
That's good. Yeah. As long as all is well there. And he nods, crosses his arms, and comes to a conclusion in his head about Mallory and what he would do for Mallory. So what did the both of you make of all this? We weren't there, but we were all... Yuku was our friend to each of us.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is just a setup. So, who fuck?
You think they'd do that?
I think every single seer on this tribunal fucking hates me already, so yeah.
Well, on that, we're all in similar company.
yeah, the tribunal doing their own footwork doesn't sound very likely. So
But I also don't think they did it. So I just want to know who killed my friend.
Iku was so happy.
More importantly, I want what they're offering. And for the record, if either of you get in the way of that, we will have more than words.
Chin up, Buttercup. I don't plan on getting in your way.
Hector quietly looks over at Marek, narrows his eyes for a moment, and just shakes his head. I'm not interested in getting your way, and the easiest way for all of us out of this is if we cooperate together. Not only for what we each get out of this, and he lingers on you for a moment when he says that, but also for the fact that our friend was just killed on the eve of a new life. I'll see that debt paid.
And the moment that that debt is paid, I see your face again, Prince of Troy. It's not gonna go well.
I'm sorry, are you two exes or?
He fucking killed me.
It was a war.
It was a war.
That explains some things. Okay.
The
What
Greeks
did I
quite
do to
easily
fucking
destroyed
start?
my kingdom anyway.
And as this tension is building up, coming through the room, as the doors open big and wide, you see Zeus. Particularly in this sense, you see they kind of changed outfits. Before they're in their white pantsuit, you see at this point now they're in more of a black with gold chains everywhere. Very much their hair done up and stylish as they sort of walk into the room and go, well, good morning. How are we all doing today?
Shockingly well. He says, with a very, very, very dry smirk and a puff of cigarette smoke.
I love jokes. Hector, Mallory, is all good. Mallory, did you get your phone call with your significant other, if I am not mistaken?
The father of my child, yes.
Quite. Well, if you will all please follow me, I am to give you the grand tour of the Seers Hall.
Right.
Great.
Either way.
Follow me. As they motion all of you to get up and follow them. And as they begin to walk out the door, you find yourself walking back into the familiar surroundings of the tribunal hall. You see, looking over, this is where you shall make your reports to us, we can ask our questions, and primarily where all the evidence will be presented to not only me, but also the other people on the tribunal. For fair proceedings, we all have to keep up with our mortal lives, so this is a way we can shed away from that and get down to the heart of things. Follow me. There is more to this tour. And begin walking you through, and soon you find yourself going across the hall, very grand Art Deco, and with it, you see that there is a number of people walking about, both mortal and of a mythical nature, going about doing their work. Mostly paperwork, but you do notice a bit of a frantic air in here, as if that murder really sent this place into high gear. But turning the corner, you find yourselves in what looks like to be an open doorway or archway that opens up, and see what looks like to be miles upon miles long bookshelves with paper flying everywhere, and what looks like to be in the center, one individual that seems to be categorizing everything with the help of a number of other individuals. As you see Zeus go, and this is the Hall of Reflection. We have a number of accounts from the previous Doomsayer cases, in case this is connected. And we also have a number of first-hand accounts from the past Doomsayer since their inception in the 20s, along with any notable events within history. This is if you need to do a bit of paperwork or maybe research that you can't necessarily find within the city's library. If it's a question you have, for the most part you can find it. There are some classified information that you can have access to as long as we approve it in nature, as your job is temporary and sensitive information is not something we're out and about. And you already met one of the members of the tribunal, Doth, as you see the individual come up and goes, "Oh, good, Hi. If you need any help, please feel free to come to me. I am here to help. They don't call me the God of Knowledge for nothing.
Thank you. We will be sure to trouble you when we need to, my lord.
And I must say, it is an honor to be in your presence. How many have heard the great tales of, Troy and all that? And
We were on a tour. If you wanted to kiss his ass, you could do it later.
sorry. I'm a bit of a history buff. You don't get to meet legends like this every day, so it's great to meet both of you.
It's very kind. Perhaps we will
If
speak
you
later.
ever, yes. We have records that would love your perspective on things. History is perspective, so would love to, if you ever get the chance, to write it on down and, excitement.
Merrick looks over at Hector,
Mm-hmm.
just with not even like fast enough that he thinks that no one notices, but I don't think it's that fast. Of like, I would be actually curious about this story.
Hector smiles, and for a moment you all see him finally, the Prince of Troy. There it is, that charm, that suaveness, as he smiles, a small little grin, nods his head, and says, "When I have some time to my own leisure, I will certainly be troubling you with that."
Please, I know you have to get back to your tour. See, so thank you very much. Now, please follow me. And you kind of
Merrick
direct
leans
me
over to
out.
Mallory. Imagine what stories you could tell with all the people you know.
What's that supposed to mean?
I just know the kind of company you can keep.
And her eyes just like narrow, but she just kind of scoffs. Okay. It's gonna be like that. Sort of like walks ahead.
Lovely. With it, you guys continue on. You see they very quickly go over. You see what looks like to be a room that's very much like old school style, like very much operator connecting lines and a number of machines that are a little bit more modern in a sense compared to this very mythical place. As you see Zusko's communication room, we're tapped into the city itself, so we can primarily hear any conversations that we want to chime in on. If there's an individual that you need to get a tap on, we can do that right quick with our offices. So we hear all and everything that is important to hear. And maybe the small things that seep through the cracks. So if you need any of that phone call information, we have that here at your disposal. Following me, we have one last place and kind of walk through. And as they open up one of the nearby rooms, again, it is very much, this is a small penthouse space that is very spacious, probably due to the magical means. And you see it opens up into a very much old school precinct style kind of place in which you see a number of individuals walking to and about, going about their job, arresting certain individuals, sentencing other individuals, and booking other individuals of mostly magical quantities. As you see, they all have the symbol of the tribunal on their side. This is the Paladin offices. As you know, you were arrested by our fine servants here. The tribunal's finest warriors are here, and they await you if you need backup, just in case things get hairy, or if you need somebody to back you out of certain things. These are resources, of which I've all discussed, that should be able to help you in your endeavor. As you see, they turn around, look at you all. Well, any questions about anything before I give you your first set of orders?
Lots, but none that are going to get answered before orders.
Fantastic. My other two here, any questions, comments, concerns?
Not at all.
Nope. Fantastic. You see that their pager goes off. Being a CEO is hard work, and Olympia needs me. So I'll have to go off. Please, your orders, yes. I was given orders. You see, they kind of look through real quick. Yes. You are to head to Freyr's apartment. The crime scene has been tempered off, and nothing for the most part has been touched. You will start your investigation there. And I would proceed you go hot quick. The day is about maybe getting close to the afternoon, so we don't want to waste any time. They say the first 48 hours are the most important, so good luck, my Doomsayers, and if you need anything, don't be afraid to call on me. I would suggest me, though. The other ones, the Seers, except for Thoth, don't really believe that you didn't commit the crime, but I do. And I am praying for your success.
Thank you. And we will work post haste.
Do you need transportation? I do know that is a bit of a problem for certain individuals these days. Do you have a ride? Or...
I have a vehicle that I'm. He looks at the other two, more than happy to share.
Didn't you? It's fine.
Lovely. It should be in the impound downstairs. Yes, your horse was quite a rascal individual, but we luckily got it in there. Pray one man. You see an individual in a body cast going, "Your freaking car is a demon."
It takes more than a few courageous souls to break a horse of Troy.
Except for Joe. Joe can break in anything.
I'm sorry, are we getting in a car or are we riding on a horse?
Yes.
What the fuck?
You have a lovely world to explore. I will leave you to it. As you see, they proceed to go into the elevator. You already see the secretaries begin to form around them as they're just very much like, yes, you have this meeting here, you have this meeting here, paperwork here. As you see, they become swarmed in a sense. And I think you in particular, Mara, can see that this energy that this devotion gives off. And in a sniff, you see Zeus go, I love my morning coffee before the elevators, and they proceed to go off.
It calls to mind something that kind of raises the hairs on the back of Merrick's neck.
Lovely.
We head to the chariot. As long as these two still want to come with me to my chariot / car.
I'm so fucking curious.
I think we arrive at the impound and Hector receives a set of keys, like catches it in the air. Before arriving to the both of you, a black Buick Grand National car. And as soon as he arrives, there's a little whistle he releases out of his teeth, and
It's horsepower, Hector.
and a
Not
ghost,
horse.
and a ghost apparates. A little black spiritual horse apparates before you. And he greets the horse by stroking the front of its face. Shh. You really gave them hell, Scamandrius. Good boy. And then the horse disappears for a moment, and the car remains, and opens both the passenger doors, and says, "Please."
Huh.
he looks over to you, Marek, speechless.
That might be one of the strangest things I've ever seen.
A gift. One I cherish. But Scamandrius will get us...
Same horse?
Not quite. And just, like, scratches the bottom of its chin. Not quite. Before, like, gesturing to the passenger seats. Ladies first. And gestures over to Mallory.
If we're going up that side of town, we gotta stop by Benny's first. I'm starving.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You will have to direct me to this Betty's, but we can certainly go there.
Merrick's in the back seat, feet already on the seat,
Yeah.
just fully
Disrespect.
reclining.
You
Straight
got,
up.
yeah, you got, yeah. We strap on in. He like Hector feels you like putting your leg up.
seatbelt.
No seatbelt.
Yep.
Hector starts the car, starts driving, and it's just like, I quite literally just got here. Makes a turn to like exit out to the main streets. So no, I'm unfamiliar with this place. The last time I was here, there was a great war. World's changed a lot since then.
Lovely, lovely. With that, proceeding to get into the car, you all proceed to make your way into the city itself.
Yes. We grab food on the way. It's very important that we grab food along the way. Team building.
Grab food along the way. Yeah, team building, yeah. Hey, how can I get that? You get real quick. The concept of money eludes you, Hector. Very
Yes,
quickly, but
absolutely.
But
Does this this is an important question for me to know actually. Does this mortal's wallet exist on my person?
kind of, yes, but you don't. It's kind of strange because it's all new stuff. You kind of throw whatever you throw at this individual very quickly to get this through. It's a very weird and awkward situation, but you get through it.
Yeah.
Painful.
As you go through, you guys begin to approach going into Celestial Circle, or the equivalent of downtown. It's not too short of a drive to get to Freyr's apartment, but as you do pull around the corner, you see that this place is packed. Primarily, you can see there's either news reporters taking flashes, but it's not for the crime scene, but rather kind of a makeshift vigil that's there, maybe a little bit of a press conference. You do see that's in the front, but the thing that does grab your attention to the kind of top of the building, you can see from a distance driving towards it in sort of the dense city street, is that the apartment and penthouse where this party took place now looks like a black kind of scorched hole in this skyscraper, as something messed up really happened last night. Luckily, emergency services took care of it, but as you park your car, get out, you do notice that the individual that's kind of holding this makeshift press conference, coat over them, very much hands on the side, emotional state. You see Apollo, who is grieving with the mortals. And while you quickly get off, I'm very curious, do you stay to hear a speech, or do you walk off and participate in this nonsense?
I mean, Merrick's just gonna start walking past him.
I'll listen.
Mallory, what about you?
Yeah, if Hector stops, then Mallory will kind of like linger.
This is because as far as we know, only 2 perished. If Apollo's this distraught, was he there? Was he not? Hector would like to hear a story from a potential witness. That's how he's thinking about it.
You see at the front, and with that kind of, I'm like, thank everyone for coming out today. As you heard, my late friend, the mayor, has been murdered. They say it is a gas leak. I do not believe that. But these things happen because we try to change this city. We try to make it a great place. I remember when me and the mayor, when I first proposed the Olympia Fund, you looked at me all, crazy, like, what do you mean? But I believe, and I still believe, this city can change around for the best. That we can give its people the tools it needs to rake itself out of the muck. Many of you were not there, but a number of high-class individuals from the community were here last night for a New Year's party. And in the late hours shortly after New Year's dropped, we announced that I would be his running mate for this year. I was very excited to be with my close friend and to, finally win this year so we could get the city back on track. But as his death, the responsibility now falls to me. I know it is hard. I know we have lost dear friends. But do not worry, I will get to the bottom of this. You have my word and solidarity. We'll get through this together. Thank you very much. I will give campaign details later, but for now, please donate to the fund if you can. And have a sparing word with the families and individuals that were affected by the fire. Help them first, all right? Thank you, everybody. And you see the cameras click. People are trying to ask questions, but he begins to kind of walk to the side. He is about to get in his car, so if you want to catch him, you may want to catch him now or before it's too late.
What does the dice say?
Oh God.
Hector rushes up to Apollo. My lord,
Do you follow
a moment.
suit, or do you just let...
Oh, Hector knows not of the current state of manners and etiquette. He marches up. He doesn't like push necessarily. He's not trying to like grandstand here. But he says, "My lord, a moment, please, a moment of your time."
Going up Mallory, are you following suit, or are you gonna let Hector take this?
She's gonna follow, but from a distance. She's very curious what's gonna happen.
Fantastic.
To that end,
Follow-
also, when the other two stopped, Merrick kept walking and then stopped on the far side of the crowd and still did like listen and is also watching.
Fantastic. You know what? Because Merrick, for right now, Merrick, you can give me a roll for investigate as you're watching, listening. So do that. Hold that for me for a hot second. For my other two here, as you pull up, you see an individual again. This Ivo Drogo looking guy, short blonde hair, pulls up, tall as hell, goes, "Can I help you? Hey, all day about the hey." And you see
Wait.
Apollo go, "Hey, hey, can I help you? Sorry,
Wait.
hey, Alt here. Come on."
We're here to assist with the investigation. You were at the party. I would like a moment to just hear your thoughts of when you last saw Mayor Freyr.
I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that's the purview of certain individuals such as the Seers. If you're from my community.
And we are charged by them.
In what circumstance?
Hector leans forward and whispers, "Doomsayers."
You see his bodyguard reacts. Fear in his eye as he kind of slowly backs off. And Apollo, keeping his calm. "Hey, how can I do for you? I'm surprised Doomsayer's back in town. I didn't know, eh?
It's a surprise for all of us.
Hey, you know what it is? This city is pretty wild. You know what it is. How can I help you?"
If just a moment of your time to know about the events that occurred last night in the hours of the hours after perhaps the main countdown. What do you remember of the two of them? Did they spend time together? When did you leave?
He sort of pulls out his book. Yeah, I stayed a little bit. There was a ruckus. And now that I mention the ruckus, don't you? Yeah, you too. You too made a freaking mess at the party. I remember. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our ruckus aside.
Wasn't there a third one? The third one of you. Where's that guy? He looked familiar. I mean, I got a thing with faces, but I don't know.
Hector pivots away from that conversation because he doesn't want that to be the focus. Our regrettable disturbance aside, were there any other incidences, conversations, perhaps?
I left a little bit after. It was about 1 o'clock. We made an announcement. 2 o'clock, I broke out. I said goodbye. I was one of the last people who left. Went out. But beyond that, I just went home.
You're one of the last.
I left quite a. Yeah, one of the last. I wasn't the last. The Inku was there. One of the old Seers were there.
Anyone else?
But yeah, look like
entourage, bodyguards.
Nah, they were there. It looked like she was gonna be staying over, something like that, you know. But hey, you know, it is what it is. I don't know with their relationship. You know, I don't know too much about that. That's more of my, you know, my mother's thing than my thing. Um, but hey, look, hey, I like you. I like the cut of your jib. And you see, he goes into his pocket, pulls out, hands you very much a fresh printed business card that has mayoral candidate on it now, on top of Sons of
Gonna
Spears
kill this fucking
executive.
guy. Gonna kill this fucking guy.
On top of
Oh, I'm
his
unmuted.
We all know you want to kill this fucking guy.
We are gonna kill this man. He kind of hands it over. You also see that he, you know, as you remember before, he owns a law firm for prosecutors primarily. And you see all that information. Hey, give me a call if you have any other questions. You have any other concerns. There, my address is on the back. You know, and he kind of writes it. If you want a manner, hey, throwing a party tomorrow. In case you want to ask some questions, I know a lot of highfalutin folks are gonna be there. So you know, if you wanna, you know, mingle, co-mingle, whatever it is, hey, invite to the three of yous. If the Doomsayers will be glad. But yeah.
Thank you, my lord, for your time. And he looks over to the bodyguard who like stepped off. Hector just nods one more time and walks head held high, shoulders back, marches back towards Mallory and Merrick. And he kind of like as we are like reconvening, shows the card to the two of them. We've been invited to another party, but I do find something very interesting. And he's going to speak a little quieter as we're like heading to investigate. When I went to see Mayor Freyr for my own business, I could have sworn that Inku and Freyr were arguing in the room, in the office. Inku left, and then I assumed to speak with either one of you, mingle in the party. Why would someone who just argued with another person stay back longer? Inku never has struck me as someone to reignite a situation.
Especially not with their divinity. That would be a very bad idea. Hey, Chris, I got a resolution for that roll for you.
Please do. What did you get?
So I invoked, for sniffing around, figuring things out, Carrion Dog, Guardian of the Devoted, and Literate in the Threads of Fate.
All right, that's a plus.
And I
3 to
also invoked Barely Tamed with Apollo here.
Okay.
But none of that matters because I rolled boxcars.
Woo! Let's go!
Oh, love it. Hate it, love it. So what's the total of it in of all that there?
Ends up being a 14.
All right. So with that in mind, double checking. So you're gonna get the clues. So you spent about 4 power there. So I think it's 4 questions you have, or if I'm not mistaken. Because you want to hit your clues equal to your power. So if you use 4 tags there, it should be.
I used 3 power tags and
Okay,
1 weakness tag.
Got it. So you get 3 questions. So you can ask away. What questions are you want answering here from this scene particular? Unless you want to save it for, you can maybe save it upstairs if you want to make a connection between it. But at the moment, from what you're seeing from Apollo's look and what he said, what are your questions here?
My first question is Apollo in particular, since that's going to be most of these questions. Does he seem sincere about his concern and sadness at the loss of the mayor?
It is sincere, but not from a point of friendship.
Sure.
From a point of business, very sincere. From a point of friendship and consideration of social, not really.
I think I'm going to save the other 2 for upstairs.
Fantastic. So with that in mind, you all convening in the elevator as you find yourself in the same place, but you notice that magic that was there before is dead. The images that were moving behind on it with the golden frames do not do so anymore. There are more
Okay.
static images
Shame.
with it.
Seems bad.
As you head up, you find yourselves elevator opening, and you find yourself remembering this once lavish apartment, which was of a party of wrong thing. Sorry. I'm ahead of myself.
I was like, ooh, groovy.
Oh my god. No. Going up. The once lavish party that you were here in this penthouse with people mingling, drinking, dancing, lights ablaze. This glorious place is nothing more now, as its dazzling lights and gleaming great halls are replaced with char spots of flame that have consumed this once beautiful home and various pieces of dry golden blood. And red as well, with the poor victims that are littered about this place. As you find yourself in this center, you see that Joe, the individual you met, you all met specifically, who all managed to arrest you, is in the center working with a forensics team that is kind of casing the joint. You see that there are 2 body bags in a corner while everything else is tapered off. Remember, this place has primarily 2 features for you to investigate. The main floor in which this fire seemed to have started from the fireplace and then spread out. And then his main office, which they haven't really investigated too much, but you do notice there is just air coming in as the section of it facing towards the city is just blown out, like an explosion happened. Overall, a pretty messy affair. And as you're sort of getting orientated, coming through, you see Joe kind of come up, takes off the gloves, and looks to you guys. Oh, I know you're probably not happy to see me, but name's Joe, as he kind of extends his hand out.
Hector takes it. There's no hard feelings there. Shakes his head. You were acting on orders. I understand.
Yeah, I'm head of the tribunal security, so your arrest was a top priority. Sorry, not sorry.
Hector nods.
So, if you want to follow me. And you see that as you're walking, all the people that are working here, they have a really negative mood of you. Not necessarily related to you being publicly shamed, but very much of these guys' main job are to lock up individuals like yourselves who can't really control themselves. And that the fact that they have to work for you now, there's a lot of tension. As many believe you guys still to be the prime suspects in this murder case. But with that, Joe goes, the body's over there. Inku's body is a bit strange, while Freyr's body is pretty normal in the circumstances we see here. We haven't got to the office yet because there's some debris, but we should be cleared up pretty soon. And you guys have your run of the place here?
Strange how.
If you want to take a look, you can follow me.
Please.
If you can handle it. I'm pretty sure you guys were friends with the recently departed, so
Not that we have a choice, but we'll be fine.
Hector looks at Mallory. Are you sure?
I've seen more than a couple friends in this position. It's okay.
His eyes soften more. Nods. Let's do this.
yeah, come over, and with that, as he goes over, drapes down, and with that, kind of unzips both bags. He wasn't lying when he'd say it's curious. A fire or explosion happened, so you're expecting, of course, a corpse to be charred or something burned off. For Freyr's instance, rightly so. The body is so burnt to a point that you would be surprised to even identify this individual as the late mayor, but luckily, he does have a tattoo cyclically of his pantheon of the Norse gods that still emanates, though very faintly, that identifies the body. Inku, on the other hand, is weird. They're still dressed in the very same clothes of that night, but they've only been stabbed, primarily in the chest, and looks like once from what you can see. That's it. Nothing else out of the ordinary, no fire, no bruises, no nothing. Just stabbed. And also wet for some reason, in terms of like they were in in terms of like water was all over them. And you see Joko, we found her in the bathroom. She was kind of floating in the tub, which was a bit strange. But Freyr we found by the fireplace, and it's not a pretty sight per se. You can't really see it, but he's got multiple broken ribs, concussion, if still there, trauma to the head. Pretty much this guy got jumped while Inku just got stabbed. So strange.
Yeah, strange. Merrick steps closer, specifically to Inku. And, Chris, I'd like to do something weird.
Please, that's what we do here.
What are you gonna do?
What you gonna do? Oh my god.
So, these ropes, these threads of fate, Merrick can't touch or manipulate ones still attached to fates that are unwinding. But the dead tend to be rich with dead ends. Can I smell a cut thread of fate on Iku and or pull it out?
Real quick, change the game here. Using your abilities to kind of give yourself an advantage to this. So roll, give me your power here if you be so kind. As you're doing that there, Merrick, my other two individuals, what are you doing in this scene?
Hector is upset. I think there was a part of him that wished whatever end Iku dealt with was swift, a surprise, not like this. He is very upset. He is interested in looking at this blade wound. Was there a struggle? Or
It's gonna be investigation.
yeah,
for me.
or was this an assassination? Is what
Fantastic.
he's looking for.
Do that there. And Mallory, what about you? What are you doing in this scene here?
Trying to think if there was something else I can do, but I think I'm gonna do an investigate as well.
Okay. There is an office as well, so if you want to look up there while these guys look at the body, you can do that as well.
Fair. I do think when she sees Iku, she's kind of takes a moment to look at her and says, "It's not gonna be hard to make you nice," and then walks off towards the.
As you do walk off for you, Mallory, before I get to the rolls here, and you can roll investigate for this office as well. Before you do, the one thing you do notice with having the rolling thing, usually when people die around you, you can still feel maybe a presence, a ghostly essence, an echo, if you will. You feel nothing from either body. Nothing. It is strange. But keep that in mind. Roll investigate for me. I'll start off here with Merrick. Merrick, what did you get here?
So I invoked Voyager of the Underworld, Hunger for the Scraps of Destiny, and Literate in the Threads of Fate.
All right.
And that is +3 to a 4. So that makes it a 7. Just squeaking by.
Just get there. So it doesn't really matter for this one because it's really much either 7 or above. So you do hit. So you do get juice here. So for those who don't know, we're using City of Mist. So juice is pretty much points you can use to help you out here. So you can create a story tag, you can burn a power tag or story tag, or you don't really have to well, you could reduce a status. You do have a status at the moment, publicly humiliated if you want to, but
I think it's funny to keep that one.
Yeah. I think it's funny to keep my regrets and shame.
I think it's cute.
So what do you want to spend here?
Well, the main thing I want is I want to pull her rope.
My question here is, do you only see it? Do everybody else see it? I'm very curious.
So I think what people see is he walks up and he does not touch her body to do this. He, in his vision, what only he can see is that mist, that miasma of gold around her, and he's looking for the thing that he can touch. And what happens when the fates pull a thread, one of them pulls, one of them measures, and one of them cuts. The one that cuts, Atropos. When she is done, the end just floats away, and that is the thing that he can grab in the mist, in the gold, and he sees it float by, just a little glimpse of it for him, and he pulls it out, and the moment he starts to pull it out, a rope emerges, and how much fate was cut short of Igu is how long the rope is. So the one from the guy yesterday, a short bit of destiny cut short, a brief decision changed. This one I leave to you, Chris.
That's what normally happens. In this instance,
Oh.
as you pull it out, rather it being a rope, it is like that pieces of, almost like if you put wood under a grill or whatever, right? You know how like there's pieces that are still fiery, emblematic, and full of ashes. Pretty much what it's like. You grab solid pieces of ashes as the embers lie on the edge.
What the fuck? And he kind of like drops it a little, like it's hot even. And I think you all see it just kind of disappear into ash that goes nowhere, that there's no settling of the ash. That is not how that's supposed to work.
You drop it, and only you can hear this. You hear a faint scream come from it as it drops.
Iku? Fuck. Something's wrong.
I think that would be when Hector would look up from his investigation. I'll give you my role, Chris. I will invoke Venerated Protector, Divine Sense, and Honorable Virtue. And I would like to pitch Dominant Duelist, because if this was a duel or a fight, he would know.
I see you. I'll give it to you.
Okay. But I will also invoke my weakness of Plagued with Regrets, which...
Yeah, this doesn't help.
Yep.
Yes, I would. Yeah, it's one of those scenarios. So fantastic. So it should be 3 overall.
Yep. So that is 3 overall. It takes me to 7 exactly.
7 exactly. Okay, so you can choose one. Your investigation exposes you to danger. The clues get fuzzy, incomplete, or part true, part false. Whoever or whatever you're asking the question can ask you a question as well. And then you can answer in the same terms. So
Give me the third one, Chris. Whoever, whatever asking questions can ask me a question as well. My question is was this an assassination, or was this like a fight? Like, was Iku fighting for their life here?
Right, so from what you see here, investigating, looking up and looking about, you can see there were multiple assailants here. You see patches in the wall of almost like bodies, almost like if a fireball hit them, in a sense of like it leaves that after a match image as you see bodies of individuals, very Pompeii-esque, if you will, of like creatures that were pushed into the wall or slashes. As some of the blood here isn't blood but ash, that's splattered across the wall like it. But as you kind of go about and going through, there is a thing here. As you see that Joe hasn't mentioned yet, whether it be just by accident or they haven't really told you everything. In the bathroom where they found Inku, you see written in blood each letter of a different alphabet, primarily of the tribunal: Egyptian, Greek, Nordic, Sumerian. Written out in blood is gods to whom. So my question here for you, gods to whom? For you, Hector, who do you think possibly could do this and have such knowledge of everything?
Whoever did this is careful, powerful enough to kill a divine. And this just makes Hector think it must be someone who is divine who did this. With that blood on the wall, it feels kismet, almost. And he bites the inside of his lip.
But yet, Inku was left defaced, ponderous, questionable.
And I think as you hear Hector like deep breathing, he raises his head as soon as Marek makes that noise. What happened?
Fuck.
What was that?
Her thread of fate is wrong. It's burned. It's can't get it. He keeps on looking at his hand, so unnerved. There's more honesty here than I think you've seen since the fight in him.
I think Hector also is pulled in by this. I think Hector is also being vulnerable in this moment through our shared care for Inku, and his gaze looks over to the bathroom wall, and I think you both are just so close that he's able to just mutter and whisper in your ear, "Gods to whom?"
Marek looks over. And he thinks about the conversation he had with Iku right before about mortals. Huh. Belief is the only thing. But what happens if people don't believe in you? Oh. And he's gonna start, in a panic, looking to see if he can see any other threads in the area, maybe off of Freyr, maybe off of, the marks on the wall, all of that stuff. He's now in a bit of a panic.
Yeah, I think Hector will pivot his investigation less to, because Steve's Marek has the run of like the bodies right now. Hector's looking for an intruder.
Fantastic. So as you two go about that, Mallory, we go to you here. So for your investigation, what tags are we using for your bad boys here? What we get?
So I think the tag that I kind of wanted to use was emotionally stable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the only one that I felt like
it's fine
in this case. But then I rolled a math 11, so that's 12.
Very good, very good.
Let's go.
So you get a 1 for this. So you get one question as you begin to go into this office. You see they finally clear this stuff off, and as they do, they kind of open a space for you. Going into this office is a bit different, as you see that it was caved in, as in some creature or something came in and crushed whatever was in their way. You do notice on the right of this hallway, there is a security room, but very much any information there must have fried out, because you see a fire started from there. But also, going down into the main office, you can see that there was whoever came in here wrecked the office completely. You see the desk that was there shattered into pieces. Books are flown off the shelf. There's slashes as if there was a weapon coming across. And very much a state of somebody looking for something in here, but didn't maybe find it.
Yeah, I guess I'll go with the first question that came to mind. Can I identify the type of weapon that was used?
Yes. The weapon you see that was used about here has reach. It has precision. A spear was used. And someone who really knew how to use it.
Hey, Chris. Fuck you, Chris.
Yeah?
Hey, Chris! Hey, Chris!
Hey, Chris. Fuck you, Chris.
The funny thing is, I don't know what you think it is, so I'm just getting reactions. It's like, oh yeah. I don't know what that means in your head, so we'll figure that out later. So a spear was used, and someone who knew how to use it.
Hector, I think, marches into the office, like looking for where an intruder might come in, and looks over to Mallory and updates her. Merrick says that Iku's thread of fate was burnt to ash. There was some blood writing on the wall. I think an intruder got in.
What was on the wall?
Gods to whom? With each letter of languages of Seer Tribunal.
The office was trashed. Something went in there with, it's like a beer of some kind. And it wasn't, like, it was trashed, but wherever the spear hit, it was intentional. They knew what they were doing.
Throne? You think?
Would I have seen maybe some places
In this
thrown,
room, not thrown. Very much two hands. They were very much like sweat lashing out.
Nah, this is more slashed. It looks like they were looking for something. I don't know if they found it.
Someone who isn't
It was trashed.
someone who isn't afraid to dirty their hands. Personally.
I've been she'll look to Merrick. What does a burnt rope mean?
I'm not
Oh,
entirely
he's
sure.
sniffing
Oh,
around.
he's still out there. Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not entirely sure, but he seemed really concerned.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah. So an intruder, gods to whom, a spear wielder, and magic. Looking into the fire, the scorch marks around us. What were they looking for?
I will say, Mallory, before I get to you, Merrick. You notice as you're talking to Hector, moving off as he kind of goes off to the side to ponder, you do see a half-burnt sticky note that has some writing on it in the back of his head. Not necessarily on the back of his head, but in terms of like on one of the bookshelves that must have like got a little bit on fire and then managed to save itself somehow.
I should go over and try to read it.
Pick it up. You see that it has an address for a place. You got the address part, and you do see in parentheses the bowl. And from what you can tell, this is somewhere in the shipping lane, sort of near the dockyard of the city. and you think you remember it, some sort of club, some sort of something, and primarily it looked like there was supposed to be a meeting of some sorts that was supposed to happen last night, but you don't know what time and you don't know if that ever happened. You just see that a meeting was supposed to take place.
We might have.
No, go ahead.
She's kind of gonna look at us. Say, we might have a second location.
The worthy lead. Inca, what did you get yourself into?
At this point, Merrick, are you meeting up with the rest of these guys, or are you just doing another check around the place?
I would like to use those held clues and juice and kind of just mash it all together for one quick big.
Okay.
A juicy
Big
clues
question.
sandwich.
A little protein
Yeah.
shake, you know what it is.
Yeah. I'm assuming, it seems like this is a given, but Merrick's never seen a thread of fate dissolve into ashes in his hands before. That's very
let
strange.
alone scream after you drop it on the floor.
Yeah. So I have 2 remaining clues and 2 remaining juice. So my
Right.
pitch to you is just finding a thread of fate for me for later.
Mm-hmm.
Could be anybody, could be anything. I'm sure there's plenty of things that ended here. That's fine. My questions though. What could cause that?
Hmm.
And was that Iku?
In terms of Iku, the entity screaming?
The scream.
Okay. For the scream, I'll answer directly. The scream was not Inku's. It was somebody else's.
That's worse. That's worse. I hate that.
And for your second question here, just roll a 2d6 to see if you get it.
That is worse.
Powered by
That-
Apocalypse rule. So if it's 6 below, you get nothing. 7, you kind of get something, and then 11 above, or 10 and above.
Well, you
get-
said 7 right when the dice landed, and they listened to you. So
Yeah. So your first question that was there was once again, what did this, in a sense of what kind of person did this?
what could cause a thread of fate to turn to ash like that?
I will give you one word. Anger.
Cool.
Thanks. I hate it.
I hate it. They're not after you. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sure they have no
and-
feelings about us sniffing around. Pun intended, Merrick.
Yeah. I think then, as he's done sniffing around, he comes in coiling a rope and putting it inside of that bag underneath his shirt.
Again, like picking up charcoal from a fireplace after it's died down.
All
picking
of
up-
them? There are no
ev-
threads here?
There's only 2 threads here for Inku and Frey. The other individuals that seem to have been like scorched in the wall don't have anything.
Jesus. Okay. Well, no thread of fate for me today.
And with that, all of you getting together, kind of giving the location goes, yeah, that's the bowl. A couple guys go down there. It's a nightclub. I mean, it's a little bit of a shady place,
The
but
bowl?
yeah, who's it run by again? You see one of the guys go, wait a minute, Thetis? Yeah, Thetis, I think.
Thetis the nymph. Fuck.
Oh, yeah. Awkward. Well, you guys can head down there. Do you need any of us, or think you guys are good?
No, we're good. Fuck off.
Hey, okay, calm down, Jesus. And one last thing. Fire, pretty weird. I'm pretty sure you 2 are familiar with it, but this stuff is like old napalm. You see one of the guy goes, they used to call it Greek fire. If you're familiar with it, stuff is sticky.
Yep.
Reason why this place burned so long. It's got a bit of magic to it, though, so... Strange. Maybe you're looking for a fire entity, maybe an elemental or something, I don't know.
Heard. Instead of echoing us through the bowl, I would like, if you can, each of your men pause it on every entrance and exit around here to let me know if there are any traces of someone entering or exiting. Anything. Please. It's important.
Yeah, we can keep a loose perimeter. We don't want to let anybody know off. You see when it goes. Yeah, we can do that.
And keep this perimeter secure. And he looks over to Mallory, who, was the one that told him about the fact that this place is trashed. I would not put it past whomever who did this to come back for whatever they were looking for. Don't let them that opportunity.
Gotcha.
Not there's anything fucking left.
As you all proceed to the elevator and the doors close, that is, we shall take our break. So with that, everyone, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to use our baño, grab ourselves a snack, so we'll be right back, everyone. We'll see you soon. everyone, and welcome back to the second part of episode 2. With that in mind, let's jump right back in as night has begun to drop on the city, and as the crew makes their way through the shopping lane, we find ourselves on the edge of the city, closer to where the water is, more of the dock area. As the bright lights of the fantastic downtown begin to give way to the grittiness of the section of the city that doesn't, it's more of the industrial park of this place, the industrial heart. Within this long stretch of road, there was various shops, theaters, clubs, and restaurants where the city's criminal element likes to hang about and conduct their business. While mortals and divine are alike, as you know, gods devote themselves to a new form of worship that the modern society is more effective to. Fear. It's a great motivator and is succulent. But we're not curious about all that. We're curious about the bowl. And it lies on the outskirts of the lanes. And as you pull around, it's weird. Not many of you have come here. You maybe heard a thing or two about it for two individuals here. But what you see before you is an old fishing cannery, in terms of a place that used to make fish food into cans, that has been repurposed into a popular nightclub by the looks of it. The outside of it looks like it has rundown qualities, but, you know, magic likes to hide things. As you get out your car and go up, you see there is a long line to this club, and it is winter, January, remember this. As it is the dead of winter and clubgoers shimmy side to side just to keep warm, while other influential guests pull up in fancy cars in the front. As they pull up to the red carpet, you got gangsters, you got pop stars, you got people of business, as tonight seems to be one of the more popular evenings, especially New Year's Day. You gotta party off right, you gotta get in the right step. And anybody who's got money and a little bit of free time has managed to come here. As you guys are here, going about, casing the place, going towards the entrance, I'm very curious, do you wait in line, or do you think you're a specialty, or don't care and proceed to go to the front?
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
How long is this again from where we were?
This place was probably maybe about, traffic. About 2 hours. Usually it's an hour trip, but since traffic and jamming, it's not that an hour was
so they've been in traffic. They were at the place traffic. Now they're here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mallory is pissy. She's pissy. She is still in the same outfit from last night. She is pissed.
There's a bit of a smell coming off, but we don't have any status to that. That's just emotional pain.
It's just emotional pain.
It's free.
Free. It's free. But
speaking of emotional pain, before we
Mhm.
even, I think Merrick makes the move to, start to walk towards the door, I don't give a fuck, his usual shtick that he's been putting on. And he stops about 20 feet away, but he was walking very purposefully and just stops straight, mutters very quietly under his breath, nope, and turns around and starts to walk the other direction.
guys, see this?
Hey, where are you going?
I'm gonna need a minute.
Okay. When should I start the timer? Because we got to get in there.
Fuck. Fine. The owner's name is Thetis. She doesn't fucking like me.
Oh. Is this gonna be a problem everywhere we go?
This one in particular, no. Other places, sure. Lots of people don't fucking like me. I'm kind of a war criminal. But
Okay.
besides that, it's my sparkling personality that makes everyone just love me.
You know, I can see that. Look, let us know what you need, I guess. Take your time. But, if you want your thing, we gotta go in there.
And he kind of closes his eyes, takes a deep trash-filled sea air breath in through his nose. And you can see him sink in for just a moment. And then he puts the cigarette back in his mouth. Okay. Let's go. Let's get this over with.
Proceed to you're muted there, Hector.
I realized I was muted this whole time. Hector's biting the inside of his lip as he watches like Marek's back enter into the club. He's following, obviously. But he's like fidgeting inside of his pocket, biting the inside of his mouth. Let's quickly get this over with, and let's hope that his notoriety isn't too loud today.
And as you do notice your wife looking over to the side again, very much contemplating about maybe throwing the lovely Merrick into the sea and watching him crash against the shore. But with it, look over to you, and more rather the silent treatment before they dissipate.
Andromache. He marches in, and he obviously reacts as if he's looking at someone, but is trying to put on the face as if he is having normal thoughts today.
You walk into Merrick, walking straight up to the bouncer.
Yep.
Yeah, Bouncer seems to be rather, to any other mortal, like a big guy, but due to your, in terms of your insight into the magical community, you can see less of the glamour on this individual. It's really, it's a rather large troll. It's just, okay, alright. Hello, how can I help you?
Hi, we're going inside.
Are you on the list?
I'm on some list somewhere.
Oh, sorry, if you are not on the list, you cannot be in.
What if I tell you I'm on city business?
Depends whose city business. There's a lot of city business in the city.
True, it's a big fucking city.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to talk to Thetis.
And your relation to our dear owner is?
He looks this troll straight in the eyes, takes a cigarette out of his lips, blows a puff of smoke in this poor sweet troll's face. Tell her Patroclus wants to talk to her.
And in the instant you say that name, you see an individual that looks like very much a stray cat begin to transform. And you see before you an individual that is humanoid in nature. You see they have various leopard-ish skin with a mix of insectoid kind of like features to it. Their eyes bright green and sort of jagged darts. Their hair preem and 80s like with all the hairspray you can think of as it whistles in the wind. And the fur goes around them to be more of a makeshift like suit in a sense, or sort of like party going dress. As you hear, did I hear that name right? Is it the legendary Marek? Practically at my doorstep. Or my mistress's doorstep to be more precise.
See, that's more what I was expecting. Yes.
You see they motion the bodyguard. Please, come make our way in. We'll give you very
These two
special...
were with me.
Ooh, of course. I am Sigi. Please come in. And with that, you guys are entered in. And as you do, the bowl gives its way to you as the magic begins to fade away, and you see that this place is gorgeous. As you enter the club, you see that there are 2 floors to this place. The top is where most of the mortals are, as lights, drinks, and music blare from all sides on the multi-level balconies that intertwine with the old metalwork that was once this factory. Up top, you see there's a grand chandelier that acts as a makeshift disco ball. On the bottom, on the base of this first floor, you can see though that there is glass, a set of sturdy glass that acts as see-through. You can kind of see below, just ever so slightly. And it is where you guys all proceed to go down. But as you guys enter in and go down, the camera shifts ever so slightly off to the outside, as we see an individual in a car, snapping their fingers on and off and on and off as a flame sparks from their hand as they watch from a distance. But going back inside, you see this, and as you proceed to head down into the floor, you can guess maybe this is where the more criminal elements happen. As you see, this place on the bottom is full to the brim with gambling, which is illegal in the state. There's cash, of course, but this is the divine community, baby. We're not gonna deal in petty cash. We got artifacts of power. We got souls being exchanged of various entities, from your ones from Greek mythology to Egyptian guard dogs to your offset shoot of maybe an elf from Alfheim, all doing their dirty deeds here and gambling with whatever they can have on that person. In the center of this place, though, circling as it kind of sinks in, there's an old gladiator coliseum that seems to not currently be in use, but has seen its fair share of battle, with broken weapons lying on the floor and blood streaks of blood that was never really got out when they cleaned it. I will say also, as you guys are walking down, very curious, roll real quick. Guys, I want to see who notices this. Sorry, give me 1 second.
Uh-oh.
1, 2, 3. Hector, you notice going down, you see what looks like, you remember seeing them at the party, you see one of the individuals. I don't think you know specifically who they are.
Yeah.
But you do see a woman that was with Apollo. You don't know who they are exactly, but you do notice that they are here with one of Apollo's bodyguards, really drinking themselves away. Not really gambling, they're just kind of sad and sulky to themselves as you are entering in here. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I will
something to notice. Keep it in mind.
I just noticed I will bring it up when we have a moment, but it doesn't feel like we do as he moves.
Going down, you're escorted to the upper sort of section of this place. And with it, you see what looks like to be a blackjack table, tense game being played. And you see there's prize loot on the top. There's cash. You see there's a bejeweled skull on the top. And with it, you see there's an individual who has 2 paramours on each side. Very much acting as a maybe companionship or maybe encouragement, you don't know. But they lie on this one individual who's having a tense game with an Egyptian an Egyptian guard dog, as you see sort of the half dog head, half humanoid body as they sort of snarling at the cards that they have here. The game is played, and with that individual loses, but as they try to grab the skull, the guard dog kind of, before this individual just looks up, and they just back away as the person who wins gathers winnings, and as you see they turn around, one of the companions on the side pulls out a cigar and begins to cut and light it. And what you see before you is an maybe older individual, maybe in about maybe mid-50s if you're really putting it to a number, but you notice the one thing about them is that same bastard's hair of the guy who killed you all long ago, and facial features that are quite similar, though more older and more from the feminine presenting side. As you know exactly who this is. This is a hero's mother, a nymph, but to be very specific, this is Thetis. As you see, they... Thank you, my darling. Now, exactly. Who do we have here? As you see, they begin to get up. Siggy.
Merrick steps forward and I think the first sign of respect in this entire game, kneels one knee before her and puts his hand on his chest. Lady Thetis.
No, you.
Can you say that again, Chris? Sorry.
Do I know you? As you see, they have to kind of speak up a little bit as they're kind of coughing.
I'm Patroclus of the Myrmidons.
You say that, everything stops. There's a dead silence, and people in the room either look at you like, or they just look off to the side. You see somebody in the back goes, "Yeah, I'll take the winnings. I'm just gonna get it."
Yeah, that's why I dropped the name. Fuck.
Oh, life is full of surprises, is it not? Now, what does a murderer, war criminal, a freaking hound doing in my establishment?
We're here on seer business.
You think I give a damn about Seer's business?
And he starts to get up and turn again, that moment of fragility kind of coming back from earlier. And he stops himself and again takes that deep breath. And I think people behind him can see a little bit of the gold miasma that he can normally see on everyone begins to show behind him ever so slightly as he steels himself. Lady Thetis, I ask you then, just as me. If I do this, I will find him. I assume you still want that.
Give me a quick convince roll, please.
Ooh, buddy.
Oh, doggy. Oh, doggy.
Ouch. This is all you, bud.
All right. I'm going to invoke Rage Against Destiny,
Mm-hmm.
famously ill-fated,
Mm-hmm.
Diplomatic Negotiator,
Okay.
always beside him, and sated by heroic deeds. Okay, my dice really have to stop doing this. That is indeed Snake Eyes again, making it only a 6.
You know what, Merrick? I like you. I really do. I think you were a sweet boy. So here's what I'm gonna do for you. Siggy, you see Siggy grabs you and launches you into the center of the Colosseum as you are...
Ah!
Merrick!
You see two individuals hold you off to the side. If you want answers from me, you piece of shit, you're gonna have to earn it like everyone else. Beat Siggy, you get all the answers you want, kid.
Deal, goddess.
Siggy taking him down. You see this individual begin to you see two almost insect-like wings begin to approach from their back. Their form becomes more slender, and you realize you are fighting an elf from Alfheim. As you see, they grab, and with that, two spears on their hands. I am very curious to see what you have. So pick your weapon wisely.
He goes looking around for like anything familiar and all the weapons and blood left over in the Colosseum very quickly.
The moment, just from what you rolled, you just have a shield at the moment that you see is the only thing you can pick up in time.
I don't fucking need a shield. All right.
Okay. So with that, they're gonna charge you. Face danger if you will.
Yes, of course. Let's go. All right, I'm going to invoke. I'm going to use different dice. I'm going to invoke Star-Adorned Bronze Shield, Wrought in War, and again, sated by heroic deeds.
Fantastic.
That is 7 on the die, so 10.
Oh, you lucky bastard. All right. You don't take any damage. As you see, they were coming up. Their claws, as you see, they use their mixture of like almost druid-like shape-shifting combined with their weapons. And as they come up with their spears, you pull your shield up as it pushes you back.
The shield comes out of nowhere. He just raises his arm, and some of that cloud of gold appears, and a very familiar shield to you specifically, Hector, appears just in the miasma around him for a moment as he wields the shield of Achilles.
All right, your move. What you doing in this instance as they sort of begin to...
He growls low before changing tactics a little. Thetis knows this kind of fighting. She's watched the man that he learned it all with. So he's going to try something a little different. And he lets out a deep growl and is going to go down onto all fours and then spring at her with his teeth out. And he is going to try and rend a part of her threads of fate away.
Ooh, okay.
Just for fun.
Toe for toe, toe to toe, please. Toe to toe to toe, to toe to toe.
Toe to toe to toe. I'm going to invoke. I didn't look at it. Carrion Dog. Guardian of the Devoted. Wrought in War. Sated by heroic deeds. We're just gonna keep pumping those.
Okay.
Oh
Yep.
God. I'm glad I went for all of those because I only rolled 4. So that's 8 total.
8 total. So with that, you choose one below. You manage to achieve your goal, take something they hold. You manage to get them good, give your opponent a status equal to this tier. So that would be technically 4, because that's what you're using. So you would tier 4 status. Or block, dodge, or counter this beats attempts. If you don't choose this, they can impose a status on you. If
That's fine.
So
I will take. I will give them a status of 4 of Rended Fate, as I rip away threads off of this elf. And we see as he leaps in the air, his whole face turns red, like someone just splatted paint, but very quickly across his face. His eyes turn solid gold. His mouth seems to almost grow a little bit into this very frightening, unsettling face. And his claws extend as he reaches in, and we just see him swipe at her, and it seems almost like nothing, but he comes out the other side with 2 threads just hanging off of his fingers.
Fantastic. Now, while you did get 4 due to their stats and whatnot, it does go down to about 2 here. As you're doing that, you see pulling up, you scratch it, but you notice that you're not the first person they've ever fought of this kind of power. With that, they take the hit, scratch, but then begin to turn around, look at you. Is that all you have? Pity. As that's going down, Mallory. As everybody's watching, concentrating, you begin to hear a jukebox begin to play in the background. plays slow music that titters and tatters to a guitar. And you notice there is an individual who's just kicked the jukebox and proceeds to head to the bar. They're very punk rock. You see that their jacket's almost biker in nature, as it says on sort of the back of it, this sort of skull with its hand reaching out from the ground. And written on the back, "Fury be damned." But their skin is blue, and there's bits and pieces of them that make them look more like a zombie than a person. With their blue hair sort of swept up. And you can feel that this person's here for you.
Mallory's gonna lean over to Hector and say, I'm gonna grab a drink before.
Hector's got like his hands on the banister and fence, like staring down at what's happening to Marek down there. He pulls away, like caught unawares by you. All right, don't wander too far. All right.
Oh yeah, do you want one or?
I'm concerned about how everything's gonna pan out. I'll avoid the trick for now.
I think that's my. Okay, and we'll walk off towards the bar.
Begin to walk up. And you see this individual just grabs one of the peanuts from the bar and begins to just spin it. And as you sort of pull up, he goes, "Mallory, right?
Who's asking?
Someone who really doesn't want to be here."
So someone sent you.
Someone's.
I think she'll look to the bartender and look back at him. You want anything for your troubles, or?
So many things I want from my troubles. You've been ignoring our calls, Mallory. They don't like that.
Why did they feel the need to send you?
I'm just the messenger.
She'll order a drink. Actually, I haven't thought of what she'd drink. She'll order something real quick for herself. And take a sip.
It must be
Alright.
nice to have someone you love, to have a kid with them. I don't understand this thing of divorcing or breaking up after you found the person you love. It's a foreign concept.
Would she pick up on who this is? Do you think?
A bit, though it's very much you read this in a textbook and you're taking a guess.
Oh. You sure you don't want that drink, bud?
You see, he grabs the peanut and smashes it. As he begins to look at you, you see half of his face is undead in nature. Very Two-Face and esque, with half of it very much burnt, as if he was trying to grab someone out of somewhere and didn't really care too much about their own safety. While the other half is this beautiful, pristine, maybe like a Greek statue. They want the boy, Mallory. If you don't care for your inheritance, the kid will do just fine.
So that's what they want. They just won't quit.
Life never quits. Why should they?
So if they're sending you this time, I'm guessing you got a special message for me.
He fixes his jaw. If you don't give that boy soon, I gotta take something you love. And keep taking, and keep taking. Until it's just you and the child, and you're gonna be begging to give it back.
What could they possibly take from me?
You see, they get uncomfortably close in your face. As smoke, you couldn't imagine what they could take from you. Death has no meaning to you, but you will understand it, just as I understand it. You see, he tosses coins up to the bartender. Do it soon, Mallory. Do it soon.
Have a good trip back.
Don't look back as he walks off.
She will down the rest of her drink and order another and sort of stir at it, thinking, what could they possibly take? Because she knows the answer, but something in her refuses to let her accept it.
As you ponder, we go back to the fight. At this point, Merrick, you are Captain Americaing this right now as you're doing your best. You see from the top, is that all you got, pretty boy?
I'm just trying to make a deal.
I want to see the monster that got my son killed.
Yes, ma'am. And he is going to turn on Siggy and throw his jacket off, just like into the dirt. Goodbye. And we all see firm muscles, just peak physical physique. He died at the height of his power. He's ripped. But the other thing you can definitely see coming out of his very close cropped tank top that he wears, veins of gold. And he charges at Siggy with the red just continuing to like grow out from his throat and his head out over his body, and you can see it almost glowing a little bit as he does so.
Fantastic. Give me one last go toe-to-toe here.
All right, we're gonna do Rage Against Destiny now.
Okay, all right.
Thanks, Mom. Famously ill-fated, gotta prove something.
Mm-hmm.
Carrion Dog.
Mm-hmm.
Star-adorned bronze shields, and Rot in War. We're going 5. Let's go.
Okay, all right.
Ooh, buddy, that is a 13 total.
13. Are you gonna inflict a status here, or are you? What are we doing? Inflict status? Are you achieving your goal? What are you doing?
I think I'm going to.
Now notice 5 is pretty big deal. 5 is this person's out. On top, actually, no.
Okay.
If you do more than it's for this purposes here, it will be out. They're very much like
Yeah.
this is over. So do keep that in mind.
I'm gonna inflict a separate status because I'm not gonna do the same thing to her twice.
Okay.
Because Thetis was calling upon his history, showing her who this man is that got her son killed. He runs at her, and in the bronze shield that keeps appearing and disappearing, like he's just drawing in the dust around him, and it just becomes the shield for a moment. This time it forms, and around him, a couple inches taller, not completely surrounding him, is a form of another person. There's a second figure within his shape, taller, long hair, slightly tousled, even more muscular, trim legs, holding the shield as well. And he jumps at this elf with the shield out and is just going to use the strengths both of his demigodness and the one that is intertwined in his ashes, and backhand her with the shield of Achilles against the wall of this Colosseum.
Boom, 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 as 3 separate shots of this hits them across the face, and in pure anime style pushes them at such a high speed that it cracks into the wall, and the fight is over.
And he immediately kneels again towards Thetis.
Yes!
You see they snap their finger, and all 3 of you begin to, in water, teleport into their office. You got what you want, pretty boy. Now, what's your question?
Mayor Freyr had an appointment here. What was it about?
See, they go over, begin to pour themselves. Anybody else want a drink?
Yes.
Now that everything is settled, Hector nods. Yes, thank you.
You see, they down theirs first. Frey, let's just say we had a little bit of a spit spat.
A common theme with him. What's yours about?
Well, let's just say I had a little bit of dirt that I wanted to sell to him. Being the head of the Seers and all, I had a little dirt that one of the Seers' vassals was plotting to take a seat on the throne, if you know what I mean. Upset the balance of the city.
Can they do that?
You got enough power, kid. You can do whatever you want in this fucking city.
Who was it?
Look. Can neither confirm nor deny who it was. Only that I ever heard a bit of incriminating evidence A lot of guys come here, talk their mouths off, and let's just say at the bar, we record conversations of a particular interest.
Of course.
I picked up on a conversation of some dirt, and was gonna sell it to the highest bidder. I got no love for the gods or their business or their game or whatever they want to call it. But the last thing I wanted to do is, well, I don't want this out in public. You find out a god is trying to take over another guy's seat, then it goes into all-out war. It's bad for business. Nobody clubs when a bunch of people shooting each other. Nobody gambles when you have to spend money on protection. It makes no sense.
And Freyr did not want this information.
Freyr did want this information. He wanted to close doors. I didn't want this information in the public, but that doesn't mean I couldn't make any money out of it. Which I did. I made a modest sum.
And this appointment was for the exchange.
Yep. Happened a little bit before his New Year's party. Came in. We talked a little bit. He got a little screamy, you know. But in the end, he gave me funds for latest adventures, and I gave him a tape.
Tape.
My lady, it seems you run a very solid operation here.
I do. Type ship and all.
Is it tight enough?
Hmm.
Because as it stands now, someone knew potentially that tape had been given and might want really badly for that information to not go out.
Can try. This place is my home. This is my security. No one would have the balls
What if
to
they
come in
did?
here and try to take a shot.
What if
No
they
one's gonna
did?
take a shot. Look,
The shots,
I know you're
shots already been
You're upset.
taken, my lady.
Yeah, the mayor is dead.
Look, someone went at the mayor. I got no beef with nobody, okay? I know you're a little pissed because my son was better than you and took a shot and he won.
We're not talking about that right now.
I have forgotten all about you two and that mess in that freaking city. I don't know who you are, but I know if you're dealing with these two hooligans, you better run for your life or you're gonna end up as dead as a doorknob.
That's the least of my fears.
Well, thank you. I will avoid darkening your fucking door anytime soon. It's been interesting to see you.
As well. And for curiosity's sake, did anybody take a drink?
Yes, Merrick, immediately.
Hector
Okay.
hadn't the
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
Hector hadn't the time because he was talking.
Okay, so Hector, no. My other two individuals here, Mallory and Merrick, can you please roll face danger for me?
Fuck!
Oh, cool, love that.
I was like, Hector's too busy yapping. He didn't have time to drink.
Too busy
Uh,
yapping.
Too busy yapping. Oh
yapping.
no. Do I have to carry you both out of here?
Face danger, huh?
Yeah.
What do I have? Do I have anything?
Do you have anything?
Can I? Okay, this might be a stretch. Can I use leave the light on? Cause like,
I will give you that for a reason you'll see in a hot second.
I
Oh,
hate
sorry,
you,
I don't
Chris.
like that.
I hate you, Chris.
like
Why would
that,
you
but
say that? Why would you say?
but
I'm
also,
just gonna say,
sorry, emotionally stable. That's it. That's just.
okay. Carrion dog and famously ill-fated.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
That's fair.
8.
Seven.
Okay.
7. Okay, so with that, you guys both take a tier 2 status. You get poisoned.
I love being poisoned.
As you guys drink, you begin to feel something, and you see that as your vision slightly blurs, Thetis immediately coughs off blood and drops to the floor. And before
Fuck.
you're able to react, you guys hear something from the top begin to as you hear screaming from the outside. And as you look to the fact that this window gives a clear view of everything, you see from the top the chandelier / disco ball that was hanging is currently engulfed in flames and crashes through the layer of the floor and into the preceding embers of this club as everything proceeds to go on fire.
We gotta go. Hector immediately pulls from a bright light in his throat a spear. As he pulls it out of his throat, spins it in place. I think now noticing that both of you are sick and poisoned, and immediately like puts shoulder on either side of you both. There's a window here, Chris.
Here, if you want to chance it, it's a bit of a fall, a tumble.
But there's fire outside. Outside of this room.
There's fire inside. Yeah, that's true. It's up to you.
We don't have to risk the ambush, which is likely if we go through the fire. I'll chance the window.
Fantastic. So with that, for the moment, break the window. My other two, you're gonna follow suit. There's water below, so it's not like you're not jumping onto the street, but it's very much still a bit of a
Oh
challenge.
yeah. I love
Yep,
jumping
yep.
into the water. Let's go.
Fantastic. For expediency's sake, you already been poisoned. Do I want to make you roll? You know what? Face danger. I will say for you two, Merrick and Mallory, it's going to be a -2 to your roll because you are poisoned. As you're sort of struggling to get up yourselves and sort of get out this window. For you, Hector, you're fine though. Whatever you add, you add.
Okay. Poised amidst doom, agile hoplite, venerated protector. I cannot die. So that's +4.
Fantastic.
And I took Voyager of the Underworld for water reasons. Always beside him and rot in war.
Yeah, I'm also going to
For
invoke.
instances of jumping in water.
I think I'm going to invoke Precious Lamb to Slaughter and Elysium Denied here.
All right.
That's just
Vile.
a +2. Okay. 8 total. What does that do for me?
I also got an 8 total,
Haha! Funny how that works.
including the -2.
So
I'm,
8. I got 8.
I'm gonna add spectral movement.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And leave the light on again. Okay, that is a 3.
3. Fantastic. With it, you all, as you manage, you do notice that there's a face coming from the flames trying to engulf you, but you jump out just in time as you go into the water.
Sick.
Status?
Sick.
For statuses, I will say for my 2 individuals that got the 8, if you will, bump up your status of publicly humiliated to tier 3 incompetent. And for Mallory, bump up yours to a tier 4 status, teetering on. How do I want to describe this? I don't know what the word to describe this is. It could help you, but it's very much of like, this is maybe out of your league is a great way to describe it. Of just like,
There's a good.
as you have almost just died, and Ricky would have never known where you were. Your child would have never known where you are. I think you see your life flash very much before your eyes, especially after the tense conversation, as you all manage to. As you see the club is engulfed in flames before you get on the street. You can hear from all around emergency services going about, but off camera, an individual gets back in their car and begins to turn around as you guys do hear it, but you hear somebody spin out and sort of vroom away.
Hold tight.
Fuck.
I will help the other two who are poisoned in the water.
Merrick doesn't let you help him now.
That's fair. And brings us back to like the docks. And he kind of like looks over the both of you as mostly alive. Not as tight a ship as she thought.
Fuck. Fuck!
What am I doing here?
Mallory, you alright?
Chuckle fucks. Yes, I'm fine.
We gotta get you home.
Yeah.
And he just like lays on the ground.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
Absolutely gross.
Absolutely gross.
Dude.
You see, at this point, you guys kind of getting ready to leave. You see Joe comes around. Emergency services, firefighters going about. You see he kind of comes up. They said it was a gas leak. Something popped off and, electricity. I doubt it, though.
It's not a gas leak. At least I think
You
it's
learn
not.
anything?
What?
Did you
Sorry,
learn?
you're a little blurry.
We learned something. Let's talk later. And as soon as he like looks at all the fire, tell your men to find out where the source of that fire is. And look at the bar. I want to know where all the drinks came from. If that is... Do I remember, actually, Chris, what drink that she poured out of? Was it like from tap that she got someone to bring over? Was it a
Glass.
bottle?
It was a bottle.
It was a bottle.
Private collection. It was very much like on the shelf.
In her office?
Yeah.
Check Thetis' office. I want inventory on all of those bottles.
Yeah,
Now!
we can see whatever, but... All right, hey, all right. Head home. We'll talk in the morning. She eats the head off.
I bring Scamandrius over to the two of them. All right, Upsy Daisy, let's go.
Mute it there, Kai.
I'm actually closer here. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Don't do anything reckless, okay?
See you tomorrow, Prince of Troy. And he starts just to walk away. Just squish, squish, squish as he does.
See you tomorrow, Patroclus. I'll take you home if you agree to that. I don't feel comfortable letting you walk home alone.
Home sounds good.
All right. And Hector will drive Valerie home.
As you two drive off, we go to our last scene here. As we find ourselves in an apartment. Well, the outside of one at least. A little bit run down, a bit quiet, a few stray animals going about. As Merrick, you are finally home. Opening the door, the interior of your place. How does your den of heroes look as you enter in?
It is small, sparse, and completely immaculate on the inside. Clean kitchen, small living space with a fold-down bed, a window that he, not being very big still, could barely crawl out of in an emergency, but has a view of the water. And there's one armoire, a chair, a TV, radio, and all of it looks untouched. It is completely clean in here, except for one plate sitting by the sink, dirty. That's it.
I think entering in, unclothing all the necessary undrip and sort of calming yourself down. I do have a question. Something that echoes worms in your brain, I guess.
Who's there?
Just your inner thoughts.
Oh.
Think for a moment you think someone is there, but it's not. But you just got someone else killed. How do you feel about that?
He keeps having a conversation that can't happen in his head. He had it the whole walk back. It's part of the reason he decided to walk. Because the whole walk, he was walking down a beach thousands of years ago next to Achilles, trying to find the words to tell him that he is so afraid of his mother. But this time, instead of the real conversation that they didn't have, he is now trying to figure out how to tell Achilles that his mother is dead and it is his fault. And just like then, he never finds the words, but he does get comfort in walking next to him, bumping into his arm, the sound of necklaces and odd bits and bobs that they've given each other just kind of clinking against their chests, sound of waves. And he, I think when he comes inside, unconsciously touches the single pearl earring that he wears on his right ear. Kind of settles him.
That does, as you think about all of it, you hear a knock at your door.
He turns around, opens it just a crack.
You see, opening up a crack, Katrina. They are freezing cold. As you see, they are drenched and barefoot. They're shivering. Their makeup is dripping from their eye. But there's a determination of a pissed look on their face as they look up to you. Merrick, right?
Yeah, that's me. And I think shocked, he pulls the door open a little bit more, just kind of like, A, why the fuck are you here? But B, also like, oh my god, are you okay? Kind of both at the same time, as he just kind of like unconsciously opens the door a little more.
You
Yeah.
saw you at the club. You investigating the murder?
I might be.
Wanna know something funny?
What?
I know who did it. And as you see the camera begins to kind of pan over, following Mallory, going back to you.
He opens the door all the way. Come in.
He walks in quickly, shivering cold, but is not phased.
Closes the door, locks like 7 locks.
That fucking asshat tried to kill me.
Who?
I was driving on the bridge and my brakes stop and I get flipped over. And like, that's fucking coincidence? After everything that ass is driving me through, he thinks he can just put a bomb in my car? And thinks I could drown? Like some insignificant thing that could be thrown across the bridge?
Hey. And he's already like gone for like a blanket that he keeps folded nearby and kind of like tries to put it on her if she'll let him.
Very much lets it happen and begins to hold it tight.
Start from the beginning. And he pulls the like single chair at his single table out for her.
I was at the club. I was drinking my sorrows away from my life that I have now. And I decide to go alone. Because I get into an argument with my dearly beloved. Right?
Yeah.
Camera continues to follow Mallory up as you're in the elevator soaking wet. Going back to Merrick. And I drive, and all of a sudden my back explodes from the car. I think maybe I hit something, maybe someone hit me. No. Someone placed a bomb, but they were stupid enough to put it in the back. Because they think, oh, because the fuel's in the back, the explosion will happen fast. That's not how physics work. Instead, it launches me off the goddamn bridge into the icy water. And I got up so pissed and walked all the way here. Because I know who murdered Frey. And I'm going to tell you, as long as you promise that that bastard would never see light of the day.
And you can see that conversation kind of crash back into his mind that he was just having with Achilles. Achilles' face, his smile in the sunset, right there, waiting. Oh, they'll get what's coming to them.
Paulo. He killed Frey. Burned them to a crisp, probably. I don't know. He's the god of light. He does like to show off. But I'm 1000% sure he killed him. And I know where you can get proof.
Where's that?
He's having a party tomorrow. His manor.
Oh, yeah. He invited the Prince of Troy. That seems right.
Fucking idiot. And that's not all. That's not all. You want to know the kicker of it? You want to know who probably killed Inku?
Who?
The camera cuts to you, Mallory, as you open the door and you see Ricky very much feeding the baby, holding it, or the toddler in this case, and just feeding it. Hey! And over the voice we hear, Ricky Keys. And that is what we shall end our episode for today.
Yeah!
As you could see, I broke everyone again. I break my toys often. I should work on that. Or maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. With that in mind, thank you for joining us for, believe it or not, episode 2 of this series. I have been your humble MC, but with that, we're going to do plugs in reverse here. So, whenever you're ready, Val, please.
First off, fuck you, Chris. Second of all, hi everyone. I'm Valiant Dorian. I use him as pronouns. You can find me all on the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. Tonight, I had the distinct pleasure of playing your favorite paladin, Hector, who uses he, him pronouns. And yeah, in terms of stuff, you can check out Transparent RPG on Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're currently in pre-production for Arc 3, so keep an eye out. If you like Hector, you'd probably like Sayer, who is a little less put together than Hector is. And you can check out my talk show, Dicey Banner, on Mondays over at my channel on Also Spirit Bear. And I'm working on a game called The Beast Within, where you get to play feral little werebeasts in an 80s grunge fighting game. That sounds like something you'd like, especially if you enjoyed the gladiator scene. And with that, I'm going to pass it on over to Calamity.
I was trying to look up a date for something because I realized it's not logged into my brain. Hi, I'm Calamity, also known as Ave. You can find me on the internet as Hey Calamity with 3 Y's at the end. I do stuff all over the internet in tabletop performance and production. Most recently, I've been in a lot more performance things. I am going to be here every Sunday. You can also find me on the series premiere of The Melancholy We Weave on October 2nd over on Other Setter Studios. It's a Quietus anthology actual play series. Every story is different and it's incredible and you're gonna love it. I'm also going to be in a Blades of the Dark charity stream next Friday. Next Friday, the 27th, I think. Yeah, that's math. This coming Friday, the 27th, I will be doing a Blades in the Dark charity stream. It's going to be my first time playing Blades in the Dark. I'm very excited. But yeah, there's actually a lot of stuff changing kind of with me and the things I do. So just keep an eye on my socials so you know what else going on. To you, Kai.
Oh gosh. Hi everybody, I'm Kai. You can find me all over the internet as Estelle of Imladris. You of course can find me here on Sunday doing very gay things as Merrick, but you can also find me on Mondays. I don't know that we're running this week, but over on Happy Jack's RPG playing Starscape in Outrunners, where I play a very, very different kind of gay criminal. You can find me on Wednesday in the finale of The Loom of Severed Strands, which is a Kobold Creates podcast series from No Quest for the Wicked, where I play a cute little druid who is also raised by wolves. And then I'm also at a charity stream on the 27th, playing, I think, 5e. And then also very, very soon, date to be announced imminently, I will also be in Sun and Chains over on Bad House RPG, another Kobold Creates Tales of the Valiant series, which is an all API tale telling a post-colonial East Asian-inspired fantasy story. And that's plenty for me for now. I'm going to bounce it back to the criminal himself, the criminal-in-chief, Chris.
Hello, I'm your criminal-in-chief. I'm Chris. I have been your MC for these preceding evenings. With that in mind, not much is happening this week on the channel until next Sunday because New Jersey Web Fest is around the corner. The Mythic Initiative have been nominated for a lot of things. So some of the folks are going to be going there. Let's go Mythics! Let's go Mythics! So hopefully we win some stuff, but we're going to be, there's usually on Wednesdays we have for our Kobold Press Tales of the Valiant game, the Stewart's War, but we won't have that this week because we'll all be over in New York. So none this week, but if anything, next Sunday we'll be back here with episode 3. Again, you heard that 3. We're only been 2 episodes in of the Doomsayers. But if you want to catch updates on all of that and what's going on, you can follow not only me at VO_Colon, COLON on Twitter while it's still alive, but also Taíno Teo's channel on Twitter as well to get updates on VODs and announcements and all that good stuff. With that, everyone, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we can't wait to see you next week for an all-new episode. But until then, everyone, have a great night. Bye-bye.